Hi, it's Darren again from Insurance Restoration Pro. So if you have done a lot of strata work, sometimes you get called in for either this from the property management company or the strata agent to look after the building, or there's the occasion where you get called in by an insurance company to look after the homeowner's contents or tenant improvements. So what happens when you run into a situation where there's two restoration companies that are involved? One gets called out for the building or the structure part, and the other gets called out for the contents or the tenant improvements. So do you feel that there's this feeling that you want to get that job so bad that you're trying to push your way into the job site and hurry up and quickly sign up, get them to sign a work authorization and get the homeowner to do that so you can get your teeth into that job? Or do you work with the other restoration company and see how much they want to be involved with it, how much they want to take care of? So here's a situation. We got called in for the contents from an insurance company for their own private or personal insurance. So there was tenant improvements or betterments, which was laminate flooring. The strata called in their preferred restoration company to look after the building. So there was multiple units involved with this loss. And so what I feel personally, and this doesn't reflect on anyone else, this is my own feeling. When I come into a situation like that, I feel like that there's so much work out there that it's not all about that one job. It's not all about that. It's about reciprocity. It's how much you want to look after the other person, because eventually it comes back to you. So I feel like I don't always want to elbow my way into a job site. Sure, if you're more qualified, or vice versa, if you're less qualified than the other person to handle the job site, maybe step aside and maybe encourage the other person to look after the whole job. But in this case, there's the rebuild portion of it. So if this other restoration company looks after both the building and the contents for this homeowner, so they look after removing all of their tenant improvement product, which was laminate, they're looking after moving their contents around, so that in order to dry out the place effectively. So in this case, we would let them do that, or maybe encourage them to do that, because having the two restoration companies in there, for one, it disrupts the homeowner immensely. It really does. It's bad enough that they've had a loss in their home, but then you throw a restoration company in there. It causes a lot of disturbance in their home, a lot of people they don't know walking in and out of their home. And then you think to throw a totally different restoration company in to come in and work on other parts of it. Sure, insurance companies do prefer to have their own preferred restoration companies, because that's a trust that's been built up. There's also certain parameters that we're supposed to be working around, and we have to do things a certain way according to each insurance company's guidelines. But it's also about the homeowner too. You want to make sure that they're taken care of. You want to make sure there's the least amount of disruption and chaos in their home. So maybe on the next time, think about that. If you come into that situation, it's one thing to get the job and to get revenue into the company, we're about business, and it's bottom line the dollar. But it's also on the flip side about people's lives we're dealing with. They need to feel comfortable in their own home and not have it more chaotic in that home than it needs to be. So that's my perspective on this scenario. So I don't know if that's something that you might think about when you come into a situation when you're working within a strata, or you're called on to do the tenant improvements or betterments as well as contents. And think about it. Even below this video, maybe put a comment. Let me know what you think. If that's something that you do yourself, or that's just not even a question. That's not something that you would entertain. Either way, it's not wrong. It's just a different way of doing things. But it's we're all here to work together. All restoration companies and contractors, we're all here doing the same type of work. And you always, I think, having to feel thinking of how you would feel if the boots were on the different foot, so to speak. So just a little bit of a thought that I was thinking about today, and I thought I'd put it out there. Thanks again for letting me ramble on, and hope you got some value from that and made you think on the flip side of something. If you're watching on whatever you are, subscribe or forward this. If you think it's something of value that someone else might appreciate, send it to them. Subscribe to my channel or whatever you need to do, but I appreciate all your help and support that you've been with me through all these videos, and I really do appreciate it. Talk to you next time, guys. Darren from Insurance Restoration Pro. Bye now.